First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rabakakwadash. I would also like to give a double honors unto the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who do rule well that have taught me this truth. And I would also like to say a sincere shalom unto the hopeful elect, unto the scattered elect, unto the Akim, the brothers who are out there prophesying, laboring in this truth and in this doctrine. Unto you I say shalom. Gary, Indiana is a small glimpse of the future. All right, when I say a small glimpse, it's just like they say the tip of the iceberg. That's just the tip of the iceberg of what's going to take place on a national and global stage of power outages, food shortages, lack of resources, um, and amongst other plagues. All right, sickness, illness. All right, looting, everything imaginable that you can think of. Any worst case scenario is going to be like that, all throughout Babylon, all throughout America, all throughout these various other countries. But it's going to hit really hard here in Babylon, America. All right, because this place is the most gluttonous. All right, where these people in Gary, Indiana, they're feeling it. Okay, where they don't have power. They haven't had power in 2 weeks. Okay, I'm going to play a video where the guy said he don't trust the food. He don't trust the food in the grocery store because I'm pretty sure they got food deserts out there. So it's probably only one main grocery store that is able to that supplies that certain areas. Therefore, if the grocery store don't got power, they don't got fresh food. All right, and I'm going to play it where and it is predominantly Jake out there that's catching this hell. Okay, you can, and not just Judah, it's Issachar, is the tribes. All right, but this is nothing compared to what's going to take place here on a mass scale here in Babylon. All right, imagine the whole state not having power. Imagine the whole country not having power. They even spoke of having possibly a blackout for 18 months. All right, and at the same time you have these data centers that's taking all the fresh water, where all your reserves, your rivers, your lakes all the water is being consumed by the data centers. Okay, so I'm gonna play this, but this is going to get worse.
This is
all right, and it's not going to get any better here in Babylon. All right, they may put a band-aid here, a band-aid there, but it's not going to get worse. It's not going to even though they're going to try to increase your optimism about what's going on. We're telling you, the prophets are here telling you, it's not going to get better. Okay, because that band-aid is just going to just eventually leak and you're going to bleed out. All right, I play this. This nigga Freddie Gibbs, what he talking about?
A problem that started with the storm. We are a predominantly black city that tends to get ignored. When it comes to certain things, and like I said, and I'm glad that we got a.
That nigga probably not even in.
Yeah, you sewage. Yeah, and it's sewage. I noticed that in my bathroom, it has a real bad smell.
In Marjorie Wilson's backyard, gurgling water and sewage bubble up in unincorporated Calumet Township. The sewage pumps failing during this outage.
Absolutely, because
so it just the power, it affects a lot of things. It affects in most major cities, the power runs the water. All right, so they may have fresh water, but a lot of these various cities that eventually, when the power does go out, whether it's an EMP attack, whether it's just Esau pulling the plug, you're not going to have fresh water. You all right?
Electricity, and we don't have any power. This is terrible.
Neighbors reporting tubs and toilets stopped working after the storm. Lake County opening these portable restrooms nearby at the Lake Ridge Fire Station. These bathrooms have a sink, they have a toilet, and a shower that people can use.
But why aren't they, you got to ask yourself, why aren't they, where are the efforts to get their shit back going? Because they don't care. Okay? And this may be a test run for and more than likely it's a test run for what's going to take place on a larger scale. Over the past week, Jake's saying this is the same thing what happened in Katrina. All right, back in, 07, 06, and down in Louisiana. All right, where Jake had to go loot. And they're doing the same thing out here. All right?
And most crucially, they also have air conditioning.
It makes it hard, but hopefully sooner or later, power comes back on and things will straighten out.
Meantime, over in the city of Gary, this was the scene at the Save More Foods grocery store, running off a generator. That means no meat, nothing fresh.
No luxuries, no ice cream, no popsicles for the children. It's just basic food.
It's gonna come a time where all these luxuries, these delicacies that you're used to, you're not gonna be thinking about that. You're gonna be just trying to get a glass of water, get a bottle of water. All right, and that's the severity of the times that we're living in. All right, you could think of the most extreme circumstances. That's what's going to happen. All right, that's why the prophets have been warning you, pushing this message. All right, repent, turn unto Yahawashi, so you can be covered in that day. Because the only ones that's covered is the brothers out there in Gary or in that push the doctrine. All right, that are in this truth, that are diligent in this truth. All right, that are seeking salvation. While the rest of them niggas, a lot of them niggas, they ain't really suffering right now. All right, they're suffering on a small stage, but they ain't really suffering. All right, where, they giving them a date, like, okay, the power's going to be cut back on this date or on this date. It's going to come a time where it ain't going to be no date, where the power ain't coming back on. Okay, that's when you talk about the extreme, what's the most extreme thing that could happen? The power is not coming back on. That's what's going to take place. All right, let me see what they talk about.
Just to survive on.
Yeah, you see.
According to NIPSCO, there's still thousands of people across northwest Indiana without power, the overwhelming majority of them in Gary. And after 12 days, the need, especially for food, has skyrocketed because even before the storms, some of those most affected by the disaster.
Another thing that's going to happen when food becomes scarce, what's going to take place? It's going to have hyperinflation. These supermarkets, they're going to overcharge you for a loaf of bread, for milk, or whatever necessity, whatever you can get up out of the store. Like, nah, man, it's going to be this much. Oh, well, I thought it was. Like, nah, it's $50. Take it or leave it. For a loaf of bread, but that's the extreme. That's why I said this is just a glimpse, a small glimpse. Or it ain't even extreme in Gary, like it's going to get here in Babylon.
We're already amongst those most vulnerable.
You see, they're reporting this in Chicago, ABC 7 Chicago. Why isn't this being reported on national news networks, CNN and MSNBC? Why aren't they sending FEMA buses and providing them with, whatever necessities they may need? Because it don't matter, because it's Jake. All right, and I was just looking up. I thought the governor was a Democrat. No, the governor is a Republican. So it makes me think even more that this might be some type of experiment that Esau's running. All right, because a lot of times when these Republican states go through natural disasters or whatever, they send aid right away. All right, let's see what they talk about.
And cheese and a sandwich. It's a simple meal, but one that World Central Kitchen volunteer Chef Velasquez hopes will provide some comfort to those now struggling to feed themselves in the aftermath of the August 11th storms.
I've been running around all day, so it's a different site. So it's like, here, take the food, bring it over here, and just get the people the food as quick as possible.
That's one meal. Okay, what are you going to do after? Because these people don't have the mind state to ration. Okay, let me eat a little bit of this and, I'll save some for later or tomorrow. These people don't know how to fast. These people don't know how to, they can't go 4 or 5 hours without a meal. All right? That's one meal they're giving out. Okay? So what's going to take place when that one meal, you got to stretch that one meal over 4 days or 3 days. All right? These people ain't ready. Jake ain't ready. Okay? For what's to come, what the Lord has in store for Babylon and 2/3 of our people.
Meals were among those distributed at the Lake Ridge Fire.
That's what they should be getting. They should be, getting fruit. Okay, they should be going throughout the city and finding, even though Esau cut off, the majority of the cities, Esau cut down all the fruit trees, but they should be trying to find fruit trees. Okay, Jake ain't thinking like that.
Department in unincorporated Calumet Township, an area which most people think of as an extension of Gary, but it's not, bringing additional challenges to those hardest hit by the storms.
Our community here has no water, no toilets, no sewers. They can't brush their teeth. We've had people that yesterday were here that said they haven't eaten for 7 days.
Food remains the biggest need.
I come here to get food. I go try to other places that are giving out free food just to stay alive.
Beverly Strong hasn't been able to work since the storms hit. For her family,
Jake out there catching hell.
Biggest challenge is getting fresh food. I have to literally drive all the way to Chicago because I don't trust any of the grocery stores around.
The lights being
surprised they haven't price gouged them on the gas, but that's coming. Okay, the gas is going to be high. All right, gas is going to be $15, $20, $30 a gallon. Take it or leave it. All right, if you don't want to pay, you're not going to get gas. All right, and like I said, with the food also. All right, it's going to be like a tidal wave of plagues that's going to hit here in Babylon, and only way to prepare yourself is confine and trust and believe that Yahawashi is going to protect you when that time comes.
So long. But I like to hear music and hear noises, so that's why I'm glad I bought this DVD player.
Jake worried about the wrong shit. You worried about entertaining yourself with a DVD player and not worrying about eating or not worrying about shit that matter.
Oh, it's kind of more of the urban area of the state of Indiana. The situation makes it feel like we're very rural.
Sometimes I get over anxious, because they keep giving us a date, but the dates are never confirmed to be true.
I think the biggest hurdle is just uncertainty.
That uncertainty, that eventually that uncertainty is going to turn into anxiety. All right, a lot of these people, a lot of these people is on, not just in Gary, but all over, on all type of medication, all type of drugs and depressants. When you're not able to get that, these people are really going to bug out. All right, hell, this food is like drugs because it has all these chemicals in it. All right, so we're coming into for the prophets, for the believers, these are beautiful times. But for the non-believers, all right, the ones that scoff, this going to be coming into terrible times for you. All right, times of judgment, times of great judgment. Jeremiah 30:6, and ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who is that he? That he is speaking of the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3. All right, the 144,000, the prophets, the 1/3, the women, children, men, helps of the prophets. That's going to receive salvation. That's going to be covered in this day of terror, in this day of great death. All right, great mourning. All right, and it's coming. It's coming fast. Whether you can receive it or not, it's coming. All right, and the Lord is just sending out these various scourges to give you warning, to remind you. All right, hey, seek the Lord. All right, turn from your wicked ways. All right, you see what I did to Gary, Indiana, the Lord has a list of cities. All right, that's He's going to hit with the scourges, and eventually it's just going to be a tidal wave. All right, of the famine, the pestilence. Okay, Esau coming down with great wrath, that's bringing forth this whole technocracy. Babylon's turning into a damn near a third world country, but at the same time, Esau is trying to put up data centers and establish smart cities and bring forth all this technology. It's just counter. If you on one side it's falling apart, on the other side these niggas are still trying to build it back up. All right, let me wrap this. Second Ezra's 15, and actually let me go to 16, because that's really going to be the end result once these plagues begin to hit. All right, this is 2 Ezra 16 and verse 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may any one quench the fire in stubble when it has begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot from a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plague, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? All right, so the Lord is, when the Lord sends these major plagues, and these are small plagues. When the Lord sends a major plagues like not a global, but a national blackout, that's a plague. Darkness was a plague in Egypt. Okay, and the plagues are going to be on top of plagues. This plague, this plague. One plague is going to cause for 2 or 3 more plagues, and so it's like going to be a domino effect of plagues. All right. Let me jump down to verse 15. No, let me go to let me see. Yeah, verse 17. Excuse me. Woe is me! Who shall deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows, the beginning of great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? This is the prophet Ezra asking, what am I going to do? Okay? The prophet Ezra is back in these times, prophesying, calling on the name and prophesying in the names of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And he's asking, what am I going to do? Because Ezra saw the vision. He saw the great death. He saw the wars. He saw the starvation. All right? He saw the cannibalism. Okay? Verse 19, behold, famine and plagues, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So all these things, this is sent to Gary, Indiana as a scourge for you Jakes to amend your ways, for you Jakes to acknowledge your offenses, to acknowledge that you ain't right, okay, that you wicked as hell, and there's a way, but acknowledging that, also knowing there's a way to repent, there's a way to escape, okay, and that's through this truth, that's through repentance. All right. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not return. Excuse me. They shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be mindful of the scourges. For all this calamities that Jake is partaking in, these niggas is still going to win. When shit get better, these niggas still going to be in a Christian church. All right. When things get better, these niggas is still going to be looking for some bacon, and some crab boil. And abominable foods to eat. All right, they ain't gonna be turning to the Lord. They ain't gonna be saying, "Damn, the Lord got me through this." I'm gonna repent. I'm gonna really seek the Lord. I'm gonna seek His prophets. All right, let me go to this in 2 Ezra 15. It says verse 14: Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the swords and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in the hand. And as this events like in Gary, Indiana, snowball, that's what's going to come of it. All right, men fighting with swords in the hand. The modern day sword is the gun. They're not just going to be fighting and having no gangbang shootouts. Niggas. All right, they're going to be fighting for food. They're going to be fighting for resources. They're going to be fighting for shelter. All right, fighting for fighting for their life. Okay, verse 16. And there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. And the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So Esau could really, if they wanted to, they could just shut down Gary, where no one could go in and out. Okay, but they didn't do that. But eventually, that's going to take place where this shit is going to get so bad, people are going to want to flee the city that they're living in. And Esau going to be there as a blockade. Like, nah, you can't leave. All right, we have a curfew. All right, you can't leave the perimeter or the city limits. Or that's a real thing. That's going to happen. Okay? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. The lack of bread is one of the main reasons that Jake is really going to fucking lose it. All right? They ain't ate. All right? They said people haven't eaten 7 days. That's bullshit, because if people hadn't eaten 7 days, you would hear about some real action going on in Gary. All right, and them niggas get real active out there. Gary. Every person I meet from Gary, they say they ain't never going back. That's how fucked up it is. All right, why don't the Jacksons, send some money over there? That's where they from. They ain't fucking with them niggas. Okay, and eventually in that day, it's gonna be every man for theyself. All right, ain't nobody thinking about, oh, let me help this person. Everybody gonna be trying to help themselves and protect them and theirs. All right. But the Lord sent out the watchman. The Lord sent the watchman to give you the warning. This is Isaiah 62 and 6. I have sent watchmen on thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silent. The prophet's not going to keep silent until the Lord tells us to keep silent, until that famine of the word comes. Then, hey, we gotta zip it. All right, we're not going to be there to reprove you. We're not going to tell you this is the name of the Lord. This is the mark of the beast. Okay. Verse 7, and give him no rest till he establish and make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. All right, give the Lord no rest till the Lord brings forth the destruction and the judgment and the deliverance. All right. Let me go from there. Proverbs 1 real quick and verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Turn you at my reproof, my correction. All right. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I will make known my words unto you. So I'm pretty sure it's a lot of Jakes out there in Gary, Indiana that drove by the camps, that seen the camps, whether they were in Gary, whether they were in Indianapolis, whether they were in Chicago, they seen the camps. Okay, but they regarded not the truth. They regarded not the prophets. Behold, because I have called and ye refuse, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded it, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof, none of my correction. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. They're going to try to seek the prophets. They're going to try to seek the Lord, but you're not going to find them. Do you think these niggas out there in Gary is seeking the Lord? These niggas is trying to, they trying to find a pork chop sandwich. They trying to, they ain't not. It's not registering. All right, it's not registering with Jake what's really going on. Okay, they don't think this is a scourge sent from the Lord. They just said, oh yeah, a storm came, tornado came, and we've been down before. We're just going to build it back up and we'll be all right. Nah, it's going to gradually get worse. All right, and eventually it's going to snowball into race riots, race wars, and class riots. People fighting over food. All right, it's going to be resulting in a lot of death. Daniel 12 and 1, it reads, and at that time shall Michael stand up. Michael is the archangel of war, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and they shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found and written in the book. All right, those that's going to be delivered from this destruction, all right, are the elect. All right, are going to laugh at famine, are going to let me get it. Job 5 and Job 5 and 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, and in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. And thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of the destruction when it cometh. And we see the destruction. Okay, and the Lord is going to put the spirit on his elect, put his spirit on his men to not fear, all right, to not waver. All right, the Lord is going to keep them during the hour of temptation. Okay, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, and is it 2? Heathen shall envy thee. Where is that? Let me see. I think it's 2. Where the hell is that scripture? Let me look it up real quick. Maybe it's 4. That is Second Ezra's. Yeah, 2 and 27. I thought it was 2. Yeah, 2 in verse 26. As for thy servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall not. Excuse me, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. All right, that's the Lord looking out and protecting his elect, his grape of the cluster. Okay, that he's preserving. All right, that's going to be protected when the great famine, a real famine. All right, not just ain't going to be no people passing out food. Ain't gonna be no food to pass out. Ain't gonna be nobody passing out waters. It's gonna be the elderly, children are gonna just die in their homes wherever they at. Okay, and that's the harsh reality of the scriptures. That's the harsh reality of the future of America. But we believe in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Therefore, we trust and believe that we have a way out. Or as long as we stay faithful until the end, as long as we're able to continue to endure. All right, as long as we don't take that MOTB, the Lord is going to protect us. All right. So, hey, like I said, that was just a glimpse. I just want to hit some points on what's taking place over in Gary, Indiana, and to the hopeful elect. We know, okay. But those that that don't know, that's on the fence. Hey, you better make a decision, or the Lord gonna make a decision for you, okay? Because hey, times are speeding up for the elect's sake, and you don't got a lot of time. Nobody got no time to sit back and just chill and thinking that everything is good. All right, because prophecy is coming to pass. All right, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the hopeful elect. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Harakakwadash, Shalom.